Hello and welcome. Today we're bringing you some of the most shocking umpiring decisions you'll ever see. Get ready for some absolute drama as we dive right in. Up first, we have the infamous LBW decision given at Adelaide in 1999. During this particular test match, Aussie legend Glenn McGrath had tried to bowl a bouncer to the great Sachin Tendulkar. But instead of climbing, the ball kept low and struck a ducking Tendulkar on his shoulder. The ball was low enough to warrant an appeal, and the now retired Daryl Harper raised the dreaded finger, sending Tendulkar back for a duck. At the time, the decision landed Harper in hot water, but in hindsight, it's not even that bad of a decision. He was well within his rights to give the little master out. The only issue was that of height had the ball really kept low enough. Controversy aside, to this day, Tendulkar remains the only batter to have ever been given out LBW in this fashion. Here we have the Bison Mitch Marsh being given out to an absolute howler. During the 10th edition of the BBL, the Perth Scorchers were facing off against the Sydney Sixers in a crucial game for both sides. Aussie veteran Steve O'Keefe bowled a wayward delivery way the leg side that Marsh tried to flick. Now the keeper Josh Phillip did a superb job of collecting the ball, but what followed was an absolute disaster for Marsh. The keeper and bowler appealed, the umpire raised his finger for no reason whatsoever, and Marsh completely lost his head. To make matters worse, there was no DRS, so all he could do was give umpire Sam Nagaiski a piece of his mind, and then head back to the pavilion. Marsh was lucky enough to escape a ban for his somewhat reasonable outburst, but the match referee did slap him with a $5,000 fine. Most of you will remember Ben Stokes' heroic innings at Headingley during the 2019 Ashes, the one where he single-handedly dragged his team over the line to give them a historic, morale-boosting win against the Aussies. And while it was undoubtedly one of the greatest test innings of all time, there is one little fact that we seem to have forgotten. With just 2 runs left to win, Nathan Lyon had fired in a quick delivery to Stokes that struck him on the front leg. And while Stokes lost his balance and tumbled over, the Aussies went nuts in their appeals for an LBW. Unfortunately, umpire Joel Wilson was unmoved and the bowling side had no reviews left. And to rub salt on their wounds, Hawkeye replays showed that Stokes was in fact caught plumb in front. And then the Englishman smacked Cummins for 4 in the next over, and the rest is history. We'll attribute this major lapse in judgment to the sheer excitement of watching such a spectacular match, because this decision was pretty questionable. Former English player and Liverpool legend Jamie Carragher once said, "Leave football before the football leaves you." We think this applies to umpiring as well. Mr. Steve Buckner was one of the most experienced umpires in the world before his eventual retirement. This man was also known for making some of the most controversial decisions the world of cricket has ever seen. During a test match between Pakistan and England, Mr. Buckner gave Nasser Hussain out LBW after the Englishman had literally played the ball onto his own pads. And we're not talking about a thin edge, the ball took a major chunk off the bat before crashing into Hussain's leg, the one that wasn't even in front of the stumps. Maybe Saqlain Mushaq's Dusra has bamboozled Mr. Buckner as well, who knows? The poor batter was disappointed to say the least. Who could even blame him? During the 2007 Test series between Australia and Sri Lanka, cricket legend Kumar Sangakkara found himself robbed of a well-deserved double hundred. He had been the lone warrior for his team, carrying them as they tried to chase down 507. But while he was in 192, Stuart Clark bowled him a bouncer that he tried to pull. The ball struck him on the shoulder, glanced off his helmet, and landed in the hands of Ricky Ponting, who obviously wasted no time in appealing. The late South African umpire Rudy Curtin thought about it for a couple of seconds and then decided the Aussies deserved a break. Sangakkara wasn't very pleased obviously, and while Sri Lanka probably wouldn't have won the match anyway, it was pretty unfair that he was given out in this fashion. But hey, this still isn't the worst decision you'll see in this video. Plenty of bowlers have had their careers hindered by chucking allegations. Saeed Ajmal, Shoaib Akhtar, Harbhajan Singh, and more famously the legendary spinner Muttiah Muralitharan. During an ODI in 1999 between England and Sri Lanka, Aussie umpire Ross Emerson suddenly remembered that he had issues with Morley's action and started calling no balls on every other delivery. Now, Emerson had some history with Morley, having previously caused issues during a test series in 1995-96. The weirdest part about all of this was that Morley already had 200 test wickets at the time. His action had been cleared by the ICC, and not even the commentators could understand what the fuss was about. Eventually, Arjuna Ranatunga stepped in like the lion he was and ordered his team to walk off the ground until Emerson regained his senses. Ironically, Morley went on to score the winning runs in this match, and Emerson never officiated again. Funny how things turn out sometimes. Here we have a decision that we can't really describe as bad umpiring, but given the situation in which it was given, it is one of the more unfortunate ones. During the 2005 Ashes, Brett Lee and Mike Kasparowicz came agonizingly close to securing an unlikely victory for their side. With just 2 runs left, Steve Harmison bowled a brute of a bumper to Kasparowicz, who gloved the ball to the keeper. Umpiring legend Billy Bowden raised a finger, giving England a much-needed victory that leveled the series with 3 matches left. Replays show that Kasparowicz's hand had been off the bat handle at time of contact with the ball, a discovery that would become a talking point for many cricket fans in the years to follow. Surprisingly, while the decision was incorrect, it has been credited as saving Test cricket at the time. It allowed England to level the series with 3 matches left to play and also change their cricketing fortunes moving forward. Sometimes you just need a bit of luck to go your way. The 2013 Ashes was subject to some pretty horrendous umpiring decisions against the Aussies. One such decision saw Stuart Broad being given not out after he edged the ball to first slip. There are 2 things we don't understand here. Firstly, Kumar Dharmasina's thought process behind not giving this out. Secondly, Broad's audacity to stay on the pitch and pretend as if nothing had happened. You could see him edging the ball from a mile away. And Dharmasina is a pretty well-respected umpire, which makes this decision all the more confusing. Maybe he dozed off for a minute there. Michael Clarke was livid, as you'd expect, and even the commentator was appalled. Broad later went on to defend his actions, and the explanation was as bad as Dharmasina's decision. This incident was simply outrageous. Sometimes, even technology fails when it comes to making the right decision. During the same 2013 Ashes, Graham Swan bowled a peach to Usman Khawaja, a beautiful off-spinner that drifted in, pitched and turned a mile, beating the outside of Khawaja's bat. An appeal from wicketkeeper Matt Pryor led to the Aussie batter being given out. Now, this is where this whole incident becomes absurd. Upon review, it was discovered that Khawaja hadn't edged the ball at all. There was nothing on hotspot, and you could even see a clear gap between bat and ball. And to put all doubt to rest, the third umpire replayed the same delivery almost 10 times, and then decided against overturning the decision anyway. Seriously, how they stuck to the original decision despite clear evidence is mind-boggling. But who said technology was perfect? So here we have the time MS Dhoni almost sent Kevin Peterson packing with a Jaffa. During a test match between England and India, a well-set KP was put to the test by Dhoni's medium-pace deliveries. After one of those deliveries passed dangerously close to KP's outside edge, the Indian players appealed and Billy Bowden raised his famous crooked finger. The Englishman reviewed immediately, and even though it did look like he might have nicked it, that didn't turn out to be the case. The noise was just KP's bat brushing his pads. Not a bad decision, to be honest, especially when you consider that it was overruled anyway via DRS. Umpires make mistakes too sometimes, but as they say, all is well that ends well. Next up, we have one of the most horrendous dismissals you will ever see in cricket. The ball was bad, the shot was worse, and the umpire's decision was just downright horrible. In the same 2013 Ashes that saw some pretty questionable umpiring, Graham Swan bowled a juicy full toss to Aussie opener Chris Rogers, the sort of delivery that Chris Gayle would have punted into orbit. But Rogers ended up missing the ball completely, and it went on to hit him below his waist. Mare Erasmus thought he was gone for all the money in the world and raised his finger. And Rogers looked at him and thought, that's good enough for me. Hawkeye replays show the ball would have gone on to miss the stumps by a sizable margin. Should have just reviewed that one, mate. What we have here is one of the most infamous incidents in cricketing history. England's miracle win against New Zealand in the 2019 ODI World Cup final. With 9 runs left of 3 balls, Ben Stokes miscued the ball to the leg side boundary. And in an unfortunate turn of events, the return throw from Martin Guptill crashed into Stokes' bat and raced off to the boundary for 4. The 4 extra runs were harsh enough, but the point of contention is this. Did England really deserve the 6 runs they were awarded? Stokes hadn't made it to his crease yet when the ball struck his bat. Shouldn't they have been awarded 5 runs instead? Given that this extra run allowed England to basically win the World Cup, you have to question the decision-making from Kumar Dharmasena here. Here we have the great Billy Bowden giving a batsman out LBW in the most hilarious fashion. During an ODI between Australia and the West Indies, Mitchell Johnson ran in and bowled a rocket to the left-handed Narsingh Deonarine. The ball crashed into the batter pads and Johnson appealed for what looked like a guaranteed wicket. But instead of making the decision right there, Bowden walked away, allowed the batters to complete a single, came back to the stumps, and then raised his finger. Johnson had absolutely no idea what was going on. We're not sure anyone did at the time. Apparently, it took Bowden a good 8 seconds to make that decision. But hey, at least it was the right one. Here we have one of those rare instances where Sachin Tendulkar decided to make the most of some bad umpiring. During an ODI between Australia and India, Tendulkar charged down the pitch and tried to whack Stuart Clark to the boundary. The ball took a healthy edge on its way to the keeper, an edge so obvious that you could hear it despite the noise levels inside the stadium. Rudy Kurtzen was unmoved, however, and so was Tendulkar. The Aussies looked shocked, as if they'd never tarnished the spirit of the game. And yes, while it was a bad decision, sometimes it's difficult to hear noises like this in a packed stadium. So we'll give Rudy the benefit of the doubt here. And lastly, we have Andrew Strauss being given out LBW for reasons we will never be able to comprehend. During an ODI against New Zealand, Strauss closed the face of his bat to a delivery in the off stump. The ball glanced off the face and struck his pads. You can literally see the ball deviate a solid 6 inches before it crashes into his leg. But the umpire didn't care at that point and ended up giving him out anyway. Maybe that's why Broad refused to walk all those years later. We have nothing against umpires. After all, they are human and can make mistakes. But some of the decisions we see are just confusing at the least. Thankfully, we have DRS now, and while its effectiveness is still heavily debated, it's no secret that it has made a huge difference. And there you have it, folks, some of our most shocking umpiring decisions from recent times. As always, be sure to like and subscribe for more crazy compilations from the Gentleman's Game.